reality is that the most powerful thing you will ever say is no. Like, no is a full sentence. No doesn't come with a reason why. No doesn't have to come with your explanation. No doesn't have to come with you just justifying the reason you said no. Sometimes it's okay just to say no. It's okay to just not be in the mix. It's okay to not be a part of something that at the end of the day you don't want to be a part of. Again, you don't need a reason. You don't need justification. You don't need to make them feel better about you saying no to them, because it doesn't matter. Your strongest thing, the biggest gift you will ever give yourself, is the ability to say no and not feel bad about it. Not feel like you have to explain yourself. Not feel like you have to ease them down or bring them down slowly. Not feeling like you have to be anything extra or anything different just because you said no. If they can't handle it, that's not your responsibility. Your job is not to justify their feelings or their behaviors. Your job is to say no and to be honest with yourself about it, to be real about the things you want to be about. This entire episode is about this reality that sometimes our no is our strongest thing we will ever have. So as we dive into this episode, this reality of just saying no, the power of saying no, and how to say no without feeling guilty. Because I personally, to be completely honest, is something I struggle with for a long time. And I think there are times where I still kind of revert to that and wanting to be in that, right? And being just this person that just wants everyone to be happy or to please everybody, which is again a big struggle that we have in this time frame, that we have a people pleasing epidemic. We have this epidemic where you want people to be liked or to feel like they're liked by you, or you want to be liked by them, or you want them to be happy with you. And what happens is that we struggle at being happy with ourselves. We struggle at saying no to the things that don't serve us, because we think that saying no means hurting or offending. It does not. It's okay to say no to the things that are not a part of what you want to do. You don't even need a reason. I need you to understand that you don't need a specific special reason, a big case to say no to something. Sometimes the biggest gift you will ever give yourself is that no. Is saying, you know what, there is no reason, I just don't want to. And again, I'm not saying ignore your responsibilities. I'm not saying do the things that you should be doing or don't do those things. I'm saying when there is a reason for your no, when there is something for you simply because it's something that's not going to hurt anyone, it's not going to hurt you, it's not anything that's positive, it's okay to say no to situations, to places, to things that are not going to benefit you, that are not going to benefit anyone, as long as of course it's not hurting anyone. And this is the issues where we have to balance. And even then, I'm not saying go hurt people, but I'm also saying that it's not your job to be everyone's savior. Like, there's already a savior. It's not you. It's not your job to have this Superman complex where you think you can help and fix everybody. And if you say yes to more people, that maybe you might make them like you more, or you might make them feel better about themselves, or you might do the things that they feel like they need. No, it's okay to learn to say no. And I've learned this actually from a friend of mine. I don't. He's probably never gonna hear this, but Basilio. This man is the king of no. Why? Because his yes means yes. Like, there's so much value behind the time he says yes, because everything else is no. And if it's not serving the bigger purpose, the bigger mission, the bigger goal, then there's no reason for those things. Now, we're going to dive into that, right? The reality where how to give your yes and how to give power to it. But one thing that we struggle with before we go any deeper, again, we'll align and touch these things, but it's the guilt. We think that it's our job to do the things that people need us to do. We think it's our job to do the things that make them feel happy. We think it's our job to make people feel better about themselves. And the quicker you find out that it isn't, the better you start living life. Again, I preface this and I'll say it a couple times here and there just to make sure we get this clear, because I don't mean like be a jerk to people. I don't mean don't care about people. I don't mean don't love people. I mean learn to love yourself enough where your boundaries are so firm that you aren't doing things outside of what's good for you, that you're not stepping out of those things just to justify things for other people, that you are not vindicating their emotions and their feelings while ignoring yours. I'm not saying be mean. I'm not saying be a jerk. I'm saying be good to you. Learn to value that and not feel like you have to do everything for everyone. Not feel like if you're not the one that's doing it, that it isn't getting done. So let's dive into this reality. And I know that there are seasons of this, right? There's seasons where we struggle with our no, and there's seasons where we have value to it. And as we talked about before, like with people pleasing and this concept of needing to be loved or to be picked, we end up stealing from ourselves. We end up robbing our joy just to give things space in it. We end up making ourselves miserable so that other people that can never appreciate us learn to appreciate us. We end up loving ourselves less so that people that couldn't love us will finally love us. We end up choosing everybody and everything so much so that we give ourselves away for cheap. When your no means no, there's value behind that. When you stop feeling guilty for doing what's right for you, you'll stop giving authority to people who just flat out don't deserve it. And again, I'm not saying be mean, but I'm saying learn to be good to you. So every time you say yes to something you don't want, you're saying no to yourself. You're just overbooked, you're under prioritized. It's the reality that you are saying yes to all these things and all these people, and it's not allowing you to be the best version of you. It's not allowing you to flourish in the thing that you're made to flourish, because we do this often. There's something called this decision fatigue, right? It's where our brain becomes so overwhelmed with excessive commitments that it leads to poor self care and emotional burnout. I there's so much to say about that, because again, this is something I feel like a lot of us struggle with. I struggled with that for a very long time, and honestly, if I'm being real, it probably wasn't until like last year where this really synced in, like this reality of me not saying yes to everything. Because there was a point in my life where I had like six different jobs. I was working at a parish, I was teaching at a school, I was doing my ministry traveling, I was writing books or writing for an organization. I was doing all these things all at the same time, because not even because of the money. I mean, yes, it was nice that I was getting paid, but it was also because I was involved with everything, and so many people saw me. And and to be honest, I wanted to be in those places. I thought that if I did the work and if I was around enough, that I would be seen. But what happened is that the quality of the work that I was doing was good, but it wasn't great. So what happened is that I lost out on other things, other opportunities, because my yes didn't mean yes. It just meant whatever. It was watered down. So what happens is that you stop prioritizing you. You stop giving the best version of you to the things that deserve it, where you can flourish and where that could be good. Because you think that if you spread your yes everywhere, that if you say yes to everything and everyone, that that's going to make you be seen more. That's going to make you be loved more. That's going to make you be valued more. It's not. All it's going to do is actually the opposite. It's going to make you be undervalued. It's going to make you be unappreciated. It's going to make you feel tired and burnt out. Why? Because you didn't give energy to the things that were growing. You gave energy to the things that were stealing. You were so busy trying to pour into every empty well that you made sure that you were empty yourself. This burnout happens. And it doesn't just happen emotionally, it happens spiritually and physically. The reality is that we end up being so burnt out. We end up being so hurt. We end up creating this hole in us, this gaping empty well in us, because we've poured out to so many things because we didn't know how to say no. And this ties into so many other things, because we can tie that into everything else. We betray ourselves when we don't say no to the things that hurt us. Like, again, I'm working at becoming a better version of myself fully. Again, I say this often. I say that I'm not perfect. There's no one that is. And even as we talk through these things, we have to realize that we need to grow through the things that we're going through. You can give the best advice in the world, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not learning to apply these things. And we will constantly be learning. In a world that you're not learning, you're dying. If you're not growing in something, if there's nothing being produced out of the things you're doing, then the reality is that you're not alive, right? If a plant stops growing, it's dead. Right? There's nothing else to grow from it. So even if you're well-rounded and you know a lot, there's still growth. So even myself included, right? Every human is in this process, and there's things that I still need to work on, so I'm growing on. But even this, learning to say no to certain things that are against me, that are going to hurt me, like learning to say no to eating extra, or overeating, right? Because I've been working on my fitness component. I'm on this journey of being better. I have to say yes to the things that are going to be priorities and say no to the things that are going to hurt me. And I say that not just because of me, but because it's a very good example of this. It's a very good example to understand that there are some things that might seem good in the moment, and that yes might seem fruitful in that moment, but if you step back and think about the bigger picture, if you step back and say, is this thing actually beneficial to the life that I'm in? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be useful? Is it something that's actually good for anyone else? And if that yes might seem simple and basic, but that no might be powerful. Because saying no to pleasure in that moment is saying yes to the everlasting one. It's saying yes to the bigger one. It's saying yes to the thing that's going to be even greater. Learning that reality that you betray yourself every time you say yes to things that don't love you or serve you. You betray yourself when your no doesn't have power or value. You betray you when you start giving other people more love than you give yourself. You betray yourself when you say yes to everything that they are desiring, all of their dreams, all their efforts, their hours at work. You're saying yes to those things, but saying no to you. You betray yourself when you don't fully live out the dream that you were made to live, because that's the truth. We're falling into this rut of saying yes to everyone else's dreams except our own. We are falling into this rut of giving everyone everything and not giving ourselves anything, because our no doesn't have power. Our no can be easily convinced otherwise. And you will lose people. People will walk away, but it's ultimately going to grow the best version of you. Saying no is not rude. It's self-respect in action. It's respecting you and loving you enough to know that you have to be confident in the things you say. That you could be less likable. You don't. Here's the wake up call. You will never be. It's impossible. It's physically impossible to be liked by everyone in this world. It's impossible that you will be liked by every person you meet. So why are you striving to make everyone like you? You don't like everybody, right? It's every person that comes across your way. It doesn't mean you might be nice and amicable with them, but doesn't mean that they all like you, right? Or you don't like all them. So why are you striving to have other people like you? Why are you striving to sit here and say yes to everything so they may feel better around you? The most powerful people in this world, they'll say no first and they'll explain later. Right? If they feel like you need it's warranted or explanation, they will say no first and everything else will come after. Everything they do from there flows on from that point. Learning to say this no for you is it's not about being rude, right? You're not being mean to these people. You're just respecting yourself enough that these words flow easily. That you're not begging people to like you by giving them this unadulterated yes, by giving them complete access to you. And the most powerful and beautiful thing you will ever have is the limited access. Let's go a little bit deeper on that real quick, because it's the most mysterious people are the people we want to know the most. Like the people that we can't figure out, we can't explain, the people that aren't always out or always about, the people that are not easily accessible are the people who have the most power. And there's like a book, right? I think it's called like the 40 Laws of Power, right? That the red book that everyone talks about. I do remember this particular one, and it's to become less accessible. Like accessible. So don't allow so many people around you. Don't allow some people to have access to you. And I think that for a lot of us, we become afraid because we think that means loneliness, but it doesn't. It means stableness. It means being able to be so firm and confident in me that I do not need validation from anyone else around me for me to feel happy about me. And if you need a season of reclusiveness, if you need a season of just being introverted into yourself to heal and to grow in certain things, and so be it. Because what happens next is that the person that you become is so confident in you that everything around you becomes what you need it to be. That you flourish from that you create this reality of the life that you're in. The greatest thing you'll ever have are people that will walk away from you because you stood firm on your boundaries. Like if they leave you because of your boundary, then they were only there for the access that they had. They weren't there for the relationship. If they walk away from you when you're firm about what you need in your life, then the reality is that they like the person that they can manipulate, the person they can control. They like the broken you because you were easy to address and to manipulate and to push and to do whatever they needed. When your no has value, it stops the people who are robbing you of peace from robbing you. I need you to not be afraid of losing them. I need you to become more afraid of losing yourself. Like become more afraid of losing the person that you have respect for. Become more afraid of losing that person that you should grow in. Because that's the reality. We are going to deal with people who, when we say no, when we're firm in our boundary, when they realize they can't keep taking from us, that they're gone. Because again, that's all they were takers. But why would you want people in your life that are just taking? Why would you want people that you have to pour into and give into that don't pour and don't give back into you? If they leave because of your boundary, then you did yourself the biggest favor in the world. You allowed people to leave who weren't meant to stay. You created a place where these people who were going to steal and rob from your joy and your peace to not have anything to steal from, because you were so firm on who you are and what you are that they no longer have access to that. And telling yourself this, if this is what you need, if you need to remind yourself every single day of this reality, that my no does not mean that I don't love them or don't respect them. It means that I've learned to love and respect me more. And so be it. But we can't stay in places where we're not being loved or valued because we think that us doing more or trying more is going to make them one day try a little. Your no has to have so much power. And you can't feel guilty for loving yourself enough. And this, I get it. For a lot of us, again, that people-pleasing component is tough. It's a tough thing to heal. It's a tough thing to grow from. It's a tough thing to move on from. But until we're firm in that reality, until we start giving ourselves this much power back, until we start reclaiming the power, because that's ultimately what it is, reclaiming that power of who we actually are, we'll continue to let people rob us of things that isn't there to steal. Because our no doesn't mean no. It's just something that we've been passive about. our next point here is that you're exhausted because you're available to everything but your own needs. You are making yourself a stepping stool for people who are so used to walking over you. You're making yourself open to them and not open to you. You're making yourself easily manipulated and used because it's easy to just ask you for things. And this is something that there was a book, or sorry, a movie, or even a practice. I think it became a thing, like a popular thing, where they called it a yes day, right? Where people would just say yes to everything, and I agree with that. Don't get me wrong, I do agree with that sentiment that there are certain things, certain days where you just say yes to everything, but that doesn't mean like things that are gonna hurt you. Doesn't mean that things are gonna go against you. It means things that you're often scared to do, or things that you haven't taken a chance on, or things that just might present themselves, and you just say yes to everything. But I also think it's important to have no days. And I don't mean it in a negative connotation, negative way. I mean in days where people who are used to getting things from you, you know what, that's it. You're not getting this, at least today, because that's a starting point. It's a stepping stool to say, hey, I'm doing this right now for me because I need to create this pattern, this habit of healthy no's in my life. And the 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 pattern that breaks, right? It's this constant pattern of us bending backwards ultimately for people who just wouldn't even look our way. Like if we really needed them, are these people that when we say yes to them, are they people that are going to say yes to us, right? In these things, and again, I don't want it to sound like we are just using people, right? I don't want it to sound like this is just like, oh, well, you can't do for me, so I'm not going to do for you type of thing. I don't agree with that. I firmly agree that you should love people and do things for people out of the goodness of your heart when it's merited and warranted, not just because they've asked, but because it fits into the state that you're in right now. Like it fits into the mental state that you're in. It fits into the financial state. I can't begin to tell you the amount of time, again, because this is something that for me is fairly new. There's this power of no thing, and again, I'm a living witness. I don't talk to anybody about things that I can't agree with or live in, or have a positive example in, because this is, for me, this is real. This is something that again, last year, a couple years ago, I wasn't good at, and the better I became at this, the better I became at just saying no, the better my life became. Like the better my finances became, the better my health became, the better my relationships became. There are people around me that are going through all these crazy dramas, and they share that with me because they're friends, or they feel safe, or whatever that is. And my first thought, and this happened recently, my first thought was, man, I am so good that I'm not in the mix. I am so grateful that I'm not in every other conversation. People could talk about me. There's probably like 1,000 conversations. I know for a fact there's conversations happening about me, but people that don't have access to me. So these are people that are making things up, and it's fine. But I'm so grateful that it's impossible for them to say, oh, but he said X, Y, and Z, or he was here, or he was there. You can't say those things. You could say whatever else you want about me, but I'm so far out of the mix that you can't make those things up about me, and I'm so grateful for that. I think the most powerful thing that you will ever do is stay out of the mix. Stay out of all these things that are causing drama and causing problems in your life, that are making you less happy. That only happens when you learn to say no, when your no has power, and that's something that will just make your entire life better. Everything around you will elevate when you learn to give it value and purpose. When you learn to say that this thing doesn't need my time or my attention, this thing actually needs my distance, and I'm not going to continue to put myself in something because it's just convenient for other people, because it's conveniently present, conveniently there, just around. It's okay to have value in your no. It's okay to not give everybody access to you. It's okay to create a space where you are not brought into things that you don't need to be brought into. But that only happens when you learn to say no. And when you learn how good it feels to give a yes to things that are actually good. Good for you, good for the people around you, but just good. Your no has so much power because it changes the access, the way people can look and shape and do things with you. It changes every person around you. And just bringing this last point back into boundaries, because the boundaries, what they do is that they don't push people away. They show them where to meet you. And this is dope because this shows them this elevation level of where you are now. Like it's like when you have authority in this, where your no has power, people either have to step up or step away. They have to either come up to where you are or get away from where you're at. It's impossible for people to who respect your boundary, or people around you to remain in places when you have elevated yourself, when you have made yourself better, when you've put yourself in a better position, the people that are around you in that life, that stage of life, that season of life, those people don't just want the better for you, they want the better for themselves. They want to live better, do better, be better. And that's the ultimate goal here, is not just to be perfect by ourselves, but to be better with other people. So this reality that the people around us become better, I think that's one of the dopest things that we could ever think, right? Because, all right, segue. Just a quick one here. I think it's important to have people around you that speak your name in rooms that you are not in. Like, I think it's important to have people who love you dearly and who can see and recognize your talent and gifting and say to other people who might have those relationships or those connections and connect those dots for you. I think that the people around you should value and love you enough for those things. And I think that we can only do that when our no means no and our yes means yes. I don't think that it's possible for us to sit in every room and think that every room is for us and then wonder why we're not getting elevated or chosen because you have been in places that are not for you, and you sit here trying to spread yourself thin when you could have lifted yourself up. You went across, you built out but not up, because you were so spread by saying yes to everything that your yes didn't have value. It was just spread way too thin and easily discarded. And what happens is that when we are able to be that person for ourselves, the people around us are also elevated. When we're able to be firm for us, the people who are with us or loving us or our friendships, even they receive from our yes, because our yes puts us in places that we can actually bring them into. So learning that your boundaries are going to push people away, but it's also going to elevate people who are willing to meet you there, because it's going to bring those people up. It's going to ultimately help everyone around you. And again, it's never about being mean. Like I said, I'm gonna say it 1,000 times, but it's about learning to be good to you. It's learning that this truth is not just I want to say no because I don't want to do anything, which again is perfectly fine, even if it's just because you don't want to be present at something that's draining or taxing or tiring, or you don't want to go out for drinks, or you don't want to go to the club, whatever it is. If your no means no, it's going to give so much power and value to your yes, and it's going to make you the best version of you. And what happens again, the best version of you, and this is how as a father, this is how I think nowadays, that the best version of me is going to be the best version for my son. Like the best version of me, the person that I'm becoming, is not even about me anymore. Like, yes, I should do this for my well-being and my stability and my goodness, but it also means that I'm the image that my children will see, that I'm the image that my future family will see, that I'm the image that they are going to get. And when you put that in perspective, then it means so much more, because it's no longer about what am I doing for other people, but it's like, what am I doing for me, for my kids, for my family? Am I actually valuing them enough to say no to the things that don't actually serve me in the ways that I can then serve them? And if I'm elevating people around me, again, friends and family, that means I'm elevating them. So looking at it from that perspective, and again, there are certain things that we need to learn to say no to in even deeper, because not to get terrible here, and I don't mean go quit your job today. I'm not saying that, right? Because there's levels of things of balance and planning and all these things. But can you actively say that you are saying yes to your dream? You're saying yes to the things you want to do, or saying yes to someone else's, right? Because you can't both simultaneously say yes and no. You can't say that I'm working and growing in my thing, but I'm working and growing for someone else's thing. That's the whole spread thin thing. That's the reality, that you have to either say yes to them and no to you, or yes to you or no to them. And again, I'm not saying like today jump and leave everything, because again, you should build, but you should also be willing to take the things that are scary for yourself. Right? You should also say yes to you, to the point where you take the leap into the things that you know you're good at, you know you were called for, the things that you know you're capable of doing. You say yes to you, so you stop betraying you. Because again, you're living for someone else. It's gonna be this truth. If your yes requires you to betray yourself, it's not kindness. It's self-abandonment. If your yes requires you to make yourself little or small or diminish yourself so someone else can be happy, that's not you being nice. That's you being dumb to you. That's you causing yourself more hurt, more pain. You were made to be everything for everyone. You were made to be everything for yourself. And if you can't give your yes value, then you're going to be stuck in this rut. You're going to sit here and diminish everything that you're worth and you're doing because of that. And to feel guilty, imagine, just think about this. Why should we feel guilty for loving ourselves enough that we don't diminish us for them? Like, why would we feel guilty for giving us what we deserve? Because at the end of the day, the only person that's going to die your death is you. The only person that has your bills is you. The only person that's going to fight your fights is you. The only person that's going to show up for you, it's you. So why are you diminishing who you are to give your yes to someone else? I know this is not an easy one. Um, and I get it. I get that sometimes we feel like it's just easier said than done, because it can be. It could be easily said. But it's not that it's easier said than done. It's just it's prioritized differently. It's learning to change this rut, this routine. It's learning to move along from this place that seems like it's good to something that is. And no matter how much you say yes to people, no matter how many pieces of a part of effort you give to them, it will never change anything for you. It won't move the ball forward. So learning to say yes to yourself before anything else, learning to say no to things that aren't good for you, shouldn't make you feel guilty about it. Shouldn't make you feel like you're not good. It should make you feel like there's value behind your yes. It should give purpose to that. And as we dive in these episodes, right, just in general, like we talked about healing in our last little mini series. I think one of the most important things that comes from all of this, from everything we hear here, and first of all, if you're listening, thank you so much for being a part of this. There's a lot that goes into this, a lot of reading and planning and thinking, and just to know that there's some morsel of goodness here. So somebody's receiving something. If there is one person, if you are the one person that needed today to hear that your no means no and your yes means yes, that there's value behind that, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. That's all that matters to me. And this is where my yes comes into play. Because there's a lot of things that I could have said yes to that would have stopped me from doing the things that I wanted to be in today. And full disclosure, it's still hard. I'm not saying that learning to value your yes and learning to give power to your no means that things become easy, because it doesn't. It doesn't become like instantly, oh, I'm a robot, right? Because you're not, and you shouldn't be. That's the beauty. You're human. It's good that you feel. Emotions are good. It'd be insane and terrible if you didn't feel. But I think that sometimes we give in to this thought before the action. We give in to the thought that if I say or do that, I won't receive. That people will leave, people won't be there, won't exist with me. Your yes is not is not a yes to them, right? Your yes to you is not about you not giving to other people. It's about you learning to give to you. And that analogy of the plane crashing, right? If you can't put your face mask on yourself, you won't save anybody. You won't help anyone else. You actually end up hurting other people, or you end up hurting yourself. So let's keep to that. We need to put on the mask to ourselves first. We need to be able to be stable and be able to give value to our yes, because not only will we help more people, not only will we build up other people, not only will we do the things that are going to actually be good for us, but we're going to build ourselves up. We're going to grow in ourselves. We're going to love ourselves. We're going to be the best version of us because we were clear, because our yes had clarity, because our no had clarity, because we didn't allow the lie that I need to say yes to everything to be loved by everyone rob us of the fact that my yes to few means my reality, means yes to the things that are good. And my no to many is going to save that yes to those few. It's going to give that power, because you're not just being used by everyone and everything. So let's leave this notion that we need to feel bad for saying no, that we need to feel guilty for not doing what other people wanted us to do, that we need to push away our own value and our own self-worth just so other people can like us. You matter, and what you need is important, and you will only be able to help and grow and love other people around you when you learn to give power to that now. So thank you so much for being here, for listening, for being a part of this episode, whether you're on the podcast or watching the clips online. I mean, I think it's just amazing that we can have these kind of conversations, whether it's just this way, right, where I'm sharing, or the comments or the DMs, which I try to keep up with, but are hard to do. But I'm just so grateful for you, and So grateful that you're listening. And if this, again, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. If this is the only season that this podcast is on, if this is the only time that this thing plays, if I don't get enough downloads, if I don't get enough comments or likes or whatever, it's just 5 stars, whatever those things are, those metrics, it would have mattered to me so much more. It matters to me so much more that I was able to reach at least a one, and that something like this, as simple as a conversation, can have so much value. So thank you guys, first of all, for all the comments that you share with me. Like, that means the world to me. To be able to see people actually receiving from this, that makes my yes mean so much more. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.